Hello, and thank you for joining me on my journey to the top 100 trout streams in America. I'm Getty Sarno. Trout fishing has been a passion of mine for as long as I can remember. My plan is to start off in my home waters in Pennsylvania and Maryland, and then expand my trips out west. So come along for some fun fishing in fantastic waters. Today, I'm fishing the Little Red River in Arkansas. I started my journey by flying into Memphis and then driving the 2.5 hours to Heber Springs, Arkansas. I reserved a small SUV but instead got a Dodge Caravan. It actually worked out perfect for my fishing trip. I stayed at the Holiday Inn Express in Heber Springs, and right next to it was Brothers Barbecue. Great way to start off the trip. I started off that next morning fishing at Cow Shoals. It's a great access area and is very close to Heber Springs. So where I'm fishing is right below the Greer's Ferry Dam, and it's a tailwater. And there, so as you can see as I come down these steps, the dam is a hydroelectrical dam, so they run different generators throughout the year. You can contact the local dam with an 800 number to find out if they're running water or not. From their website, I understand that they introduced trout in 1966. The water runs cold year-round, so it's a great place to go. This up until I think 2009, it had the world record brown trout, 40-pound brown trout out of the Red Rivers, out of Little Red River. So now, as you can see, the water is way down. My understanding is that they hadn't been running water at all, and that's really, really great. I'm going to say, definitely listen to everyone, all the warnings about water levels. This water, once they start releasing it, can rise up. As you can see, as I'm walking on this little island, this would have been almost completely underwater. So as I came into this stretch, if you can imagine that the water would have been just totally covering all of this. So you have to be very careful. I was very, very cautious while I was fishing here. I made sure that I was very close to the steps, and I took a lot of caution about any kind of wading in this area. Now, my understanding from the local fly shop was that this is brown trout in October. It's brown trout catch and release barbless hook. So I was approaching very, very cautiously this area, and I could see some fish. I'm not sure if they were midging or just slightly rising on the other side. So I thought I would go ahead and work my way out to there. It's about 7 o'clock in the morning, and I'm being, the mist is coming off the water. It's actually very, very beautiful. What a great place to be. So I started casting this drift on the other side. Like I said, it's tough to see through the mist, but I could see fish occasionally rising here and there. It looked like they were maybe taking an emerger. So I started off fishing, it was like a blue wing olive type pattern. And then I thought I might switch up to midges, but I was getting a pretty good drift. It's a really nice area. So I switched over to one of the smallest dry flies that I had. I was intent on doing what I could with dry flies, seeing as I could see a couple rising. And I had a couple rise very close to my fly, so I wasn't quite matching the hatch. Oh! One hit it there. Yeah, they're right on the other side. It's very almost to shore. I can see them hitting something. Oh, missed another one. So I switched flies a couple times and then finally got this 20-inch brown trout. Unfortunately off camera at the time, but great fight. I really wish I would have got this one on camera because he fought down into the weeds and was very, very challenging. I was very surprised to get him in. Here's the fly that I was using. Nice little tiny, almost an Adams pattern. So after catching that brown, I thought I would do some exploring and check out the other walk-in areas on the Little Red River. This is Sugarloaf Mountain. I understand that you can hike up there and there's all kinds of cool things to see, and they've done a really nice restoration project on the trails around that area. Now, I rode up to the dam to actually check out the water coming directly out of it, and they had a really, really nice path down there. I was able to walk down the stream and just check out some really nice areas. I stopped off at the Ozark Angler. They were super helpful and gave me this map with all of the different walk-in areas. So I decided to drive to each one of these different walk-in areas and check out how the fishing was. My first stop was Pangburn Bridge. It was pretty cool. It had kind of an area you could go down and an old walkway bridge. And it wasn't really good for fly fishing. Where I was, I couldn't really do anything there, so I decided to move on to the next place. Ramsey Access was actually very, very good. And there was a really cool place that you could go down and walk out and fish. Unfortunately, this was a Sunday, and a couple of families had just gotten into that area, so I didn't film that area, but I did stop by. It was a kind of a cool place to stop and fish. The next place I stopped was Libby Shoals. That was a really nice place to get into. Libby Shoals was just a nice place to wade in. The water was great, and I decided to do some more dry fly fishing. Sorry about the angle there, but it was a great little fish. I then picked up another one right in that same spot. So the next morning, I returned to the Cow Shoals area. The water was still down, so I was able to walk through what was the under. Wow, what a beautiful morning. I'm sure the river looked very, very different with the running generators, but just gorgeous. So I caught a couple more there at Cow Shoals that morning, but I had to get on the road to drive up to the Norfolk and the White River. So I really liked the Little Red River. The access was really great. The local fly shop was really cool. It was only about 2.5 hours from Memphis, so really not that far, a pretty easy flight in. And it is only about 2 hours from the White and the Norfolk. So I highly recommend giving it a try. You can hit those three rivers, all in pretty close proximity. World record brown trout 2009. So there's gigantic fish here, lots of fish here, and really a great place to be.